job creation is on a mission to transform lives. From increasing access to potable water, to providing secure homes for the most vulnerable, and helping you own a piece of the rock, we're revitalizing communities and preserving our environment. We're making an impact. See the difference. Feel the difference. Building a better Jamaica for you and me.
You can feel it. Make JC.
Zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table on the side or the back. You fit check out the servings, just do the maths. Not taking too much, finger below the facts. Zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table on the side or the back. Take note of the sodium, the sugars and the fats. 5% or less in the on the right track. You fit zoom in on the nutrition facts. It there in the table on the side or the back. Vitamins, minerals and vitamin 2, 20% and more that good for you. You fit zoom in. Check the nutrition facts. You fit zoom in. Check the nutrition facts. You fit zoom in. Check the nutrition facts. Less sugar, less salt intake and less fat. You fit zoom in.
A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Jamaica Moves, the Heart Foundation of Jamaica, the National Health Fund, and Japan.
Politicians are public servants. Voting is your chance to choose your representative. Your vote is your voice. It's your ticket to the national conversation about our best interests. Your decision at the polls shapes our world. Find out where and how you can vote by contacting the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. Visit their website at www.ecj.com.jm or give them a call at 888-991-8683. Your voice matters. Your vote counts.
Jamaica, your vote matters. Election day is just around the corner. Take a stand for what you believe in. Every vote counts. Make yours heard. Let's shape our future together. Vote.
Politicians are public servants. Voting is your chance to choose your representative. Your vote is your voice. It's your ticket to the national conversation about our best interests. Your decision at the polls shapes our world. Find out where and how you can vote by contacting the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. Visit their website at www.ecj.com.jm or give them a call at 888-991-8683. Your voice matters. Your vote counts.
As an inner city youth, I'm a duty to know the laws and my rights. These laws affect all our self-interest and safety.
The law says throwing garbage in public places or on other premises without consent will lead to prosecution. But see it online. I know my laws and my rights. Do you? Know your laws. Know your rights. Respect you.
Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
BGLC, the regulatory body. We regulate, you play without worry. We regulate, you play. BGLC, fair play when you play. For the fun of the game, you know we're there. BGLC, keep it fair for the player. You play the game and we are the rules that keep everything fair so the game play better. The Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. We ensure fairness, integrity and responsible gaming practices. Keep the game fair and fun for everyone. We regulate, you play.
The most common way to vote in Jamaican elections is to present your electoral registration identification card, also known as your voter ID. This is the manual process. Here's a guide on how to use your voter ID on election day. Step 1. Give your name to the presiding officer. Your name will be checked against the voter registration list to ensure you're at the correct polling station. Step 2. Present your voter ID to the presiding officer. Your identification will be verified using an integrity lamp. Step 3. You'll be asked to present your hands. Using the integrity lamp, your fingers will be checked for ink to see if you've previously cast a ballot. There is no heat in this process and the light will not harm you. If you do not have a voter ID, you'll verify your identity via questions and by completing Oath 11, the Oath of Identity. Once the ID process is completed, you'll be issued a ballot. Step 4. The presiding officer will instruct you on how to cast your ballot. Listen carefully as they explain how to mark, fold, and return the ballot paper. You'll be told the number of candidates, names of candidates, and the symbols representing each candidate. Step 5. Go behind the voting booth, mark an X beside the symbol of the candidate of your choice using the pencil provided. Do not use a pen, marker, or crayon to mark the ballot paper. A pencil will be provided for you in the voting booth. Only place one X on your ballot. Do not write your name, affix your signature, or draw any other symbol. Step 6. Return your ballot paper folded in the manner instructed. Be careful. If you expose your mark, your ballot will be declared spoiled. The presiding officer will call out the serial number on your ballot paper for it to be recorded. The counterfoil containing the serial number is then removed. Nothing on the ballot paper can be traced to you. Your vote is secret. Step 7. You'll be asked to dip your right index finger in the electoral ink. Step 8. Watch as the presiding officer deposits your ballot paper into the ballot box. That's it. You successfully cast your vote.
Your vote is your voice. Make it count by understanding your ballot. The presiding officer will instruct you on how to cast your ballot. Listen carefully as they explain how to mark, fold, and return the ballot paper. You'll be told the number of candidates, names of candidates, and symbols representing each candidate. Mark an X beside the symbol of the candidate of your choice using the pencil provided. If you're unsure about any part of your ballot, ask a poll worker or visit the Electoral Commission of Jamaica's website at ecj.com.jm. Remember, understanding your ballot ensures your vote is counted exactly as you intend.
Jamaica's agriculture is on the move and the world is watching. This September, discover how sustainable agribusiness, global reach, local impact is transforming our future. At JAIF 2025, the Jamaica Agribusiness Investment Forum, explore financing opportunities, forge powerful partnerships, and connect with global markets ready for Jamaican products. Join us in Montego Bay, September 17 to 19, and plant the seed that will take your agribusiness to the next level. Register today at agribizjamaica.com. Let's grow Jamaica's agricultural future together.
The National Family Planning Board now presents a parenting tip from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Men are what their mothers made them.
PBCJ's Studio National is an excellent soundstage with a reputation for producing superior acoustics. Equipped with blue and green screens, it facilitates digital insertion of visual effects and exciting backgrounds in post-production. Studio National is the largest drive-in studio in the English-speaking Caribbean. Yes, you can actually drive a vehicle right onto the studio floor. With over 4,000 square feet of floor space, the studio can easily be transformed. It has hosted a wide variety of live and recorded productions, including Digicel Rising Stars, Schools Challenge Quiz, gospel concerts, the TEF Tourism Debate Competition, and election night coverage. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it was a location for Reggae Sumfest and has hosted several reggae concerts, has hosted workshops, launches, town hall meetings, and over the years has been home to several TV dramas, including Oliver at Large and Lime Tree Lane. In addition to the rental of the studio, we can furnish a full crew to shoot and edit your production. So for your next major live or recorded event, or as a location to shoot films, programs, and commercials, PBCJ's Studio National is your best option. For smaller productions, you can book our more compact studio, Studio B. For bookings, call 876-665-7225 or email prod_PBCJ@PBCJamaica.org.
Did you know that reading is for everyone? Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply someone looking to expand your horizons, reading is for you. Reading expands knowledge, improves focus and concentration, enhances vocabulary, and serves to unlock your creativity. So make time for reading every day. Let's make reading a habit for a smarter, healthier, and more successful life. For reading is for everyone.
Jamaica's agriculture is on the move and the world is watching. This September, discover how sustainable agribusiness, global reach, local impact is transforming our future. At JAIF 2025, the Jamaica Agribusiness Investment Forum, explore financing opportunities, forge powerful partnerships, and connect with global markets ready for Jamaican products. Join us in Montego Bay, September 17 to 19, and plant the seed that will take your agribusiness to the next level. Register today at agribizjamaica.com. Let's grow Jamaica's agricultural future together.
Remember, gambling is just a game. Choose to gamble responsibly. Set a budget, avoid chasing losses, and stop gambling when you reach your money limit. For gambling help, call RISE 888-991-4146. A message from the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Hey Jamaica! The general elections are constitutionally due in September 2025. Your voice matters, but voter turnout has been low. Let's change that. Get informed, get engaged, and go out and vote. Together, we can make a difference.
Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information. Attention registered voters! Remember to collect your renewed voter ID card before the upcoming general election. If you registered to vote in 2016 or after and did not get your new ID card, it may have been automatically renewed. Simply visit your EOJ constituency office to collect your voter ID card. Contact the Electoral Office of Jamaica at 888-991-VOTE or 922-0425-9 for more information.
Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic. Well then, let's propel we nation moving forward in a new direction. True independence, that's the projection. No more dependency, it's the best plan. Yes, we know what's best for us, cause we want we country prosperous. So make we just pull together as the general public while on the road to republic. Jamaica, let's spread the word around to let the world know that we are proud to be one republic. We on the road to republic.
A message from the Ministry of Legal and Constitutional Affairs.
We on the road to republic.
Most major illnesses that affect Jamaicans are caused by unhealthy lifestyles. Over 50% of Jamaicans are overweight. 1 in 3 Jamaicans has high blood pressure. 1 in 8 Jamaicans has diabetes. 17% of Jamaicans have high cholesterol. A healthy lifestyle can reduce the risk of most of these diseases. Things like regular exercise and adequate rest can play an important role in maintaining good health. The other major consideration is eating healthy. The question is, how do you walk into a restaurant or fast food outlet and identify the healthier menu items? Better For You is an initiative to help Jamaicans to eat healthier. Restaurants and fast food outlets can voluntarily participate by identifying the items on their menu that meet the food-based dietary guidelines for Jamaica. These menu items would be easily identified with the Better For You logo, so customers can quickly identify healthier meal options by looking at the menu or menu board. Once they see the Better For You logo, they can confidently order that menu item, knowing that it's a healthier choice. Better For You will help Jamaicans to make better choices and prompt restaurants to add better options to their menu. Better For You is better for everyone. Good health begins with better choices.
As an inner city youth, I'm a duty to know the laws and my rights. These laws affect all our self-interest and safety.
The law says throwing garbage in public places or on other premises without consent will lead to prosecution. I see it online. I know my laws and my rights. Do you? Know your laws. Know your rights. Respect you.
Hey Jamaica, the general elections are constitutionally due in September 2025. Your voice matters, but voter turnout has been low. Let's change that. Get informed, get engaged, and go out and vote. Together, we can make a difference.
Jamaica's agriculture is on the move, and the world is watching. This September, discover how sustainable agribusiness, global reach, local impact is transforming our future. At JAIF 2025, the Jamaica Agribusiness Investment Forum, explore financing opportunities, forge powerful partnerships, and connect with global markets ready for Jamaican products. Join us in Montego Bay, September 17 to 19, and plant the seed that will take your agribusiness to the next level. Register today at agribizjamaica.com. Let's grow Jamaica's agricultural future together.
As an inner city youth, I'm a duty to know the laws and my rights. These laws affect all our self-interest and safety.
The law says throwing garbage in public places or on other premises without consent will lead to prosecution. I see it online. I know my laws and my rights. Do you? Know your laws. Know your rights. Respect you.
PBCJ's Student National is an excellent soundstage with a reputation for producing superior acoustics. Equipped with blue and green screens, it facilitates digital insertion of visual effects and exciting backgrounds in post-production. Studio National is the largest drive-in studio in the English-speaking Caribbean. Yes, you can actually drive a vehicle right onto the studio floor. With over 4,000 square feet of floor space, the studio can easily be transformed. It has hosted a wide variety of live and recorded productions, including Digital Rising Stars, Schools Challenge Quiz, Gospel.
The pre-independence years between 1944 and 1962, the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party alternated power, with the JLP winning in the first election in 44. They repeated in 49. Then the two-term syndrome kicked in, the PNP winning in 55 and 59.
Post-independence, 1962 to present day, both parties have had significant wins, with the PNP dominating the 1970s to early 2000s and the JLP gaining strength in recent years. Notably, the PNP won in 1972, 1976, 1989, 1993, 1997, 2002, very impressive sequence, and then in 2011.
While the JLP won in 62, 67, and then that most infamous year, we will never forget it, those of us who lived through it, October 30, 1980, marking the most violent election in our young country's history. The JLP also won in 2007, 2016, and 2020.
Today, September 3, 2025, this general election is crucial for various reasons. Firstly, the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, on the cusp of becoming a superstar among JLP leaders. Well, he's a superstar already, but he has the chance to win 3 consecutive elections. He's already been sworn in 3 times as Prime Minister, but if he does get sworn in a 4th time, it will be because he has led the JLP to 3 consecutive election wins, making him only the 2nd Jamaican Prime Minister to achieve this feat after Percival James Patterson.
Secondly, it will be significant. The PNP, led by Mark Golding, is pushing for a new direction, citing its 2024 local government election performance as proof of regaining credibility with the Jamaican people.
This election focused on many things, among them the issue of economic growth, development of infrastructure, and the management of crime, which the JLP have shown in their Book of Achievements. The PNP, meanwhile, has emphasized economic inclusion, housing, healthcare, and reforms to education.
This election will also be decided in approximately 20-25 marginal seats or swing seats, with the key battlegrounds in western parishes, including St. James, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. Elizabeth, as well as Manchester, Clarendon, and St. Catherine. Tonight, we'll have for you comprehensive analysis with public commentator Dr. Nadine Spence to my immediate left. To her immediate left, Kevin O'Brien Chang, also public commentator.
We also have with us social and cultural commentator Wayne Chen. We have senior journalist Desmond Richards and associate professor in the Department of Political Science and Policy Studies at Elon University in the United States, Dr. Damian Blake.
And of course, Blue Dot, our pollsters, are with us. Chief Consumer Insights Officer at Blue Dot, you know her now, Janae Stevens-Taylor. Blue Dot and consulting lead data scientist, Night Sky Data, Jahail Smith. They will help us to not only crunch the numbers, but also call the election. Janae Stevens-Taylor, what can we expect from you tonight?
Good evening, everyone. From us tonight, we're bringing you the numbers. Simply put, we know that once voting wraps at all of the polling stations, counting will begin. And the Blue Dot Gizada staff smart board is how we're going to share those counts with the audience. And it's very interactive. So let's say we want to know what is going on in Northern Trelawney. We tap on Northern Trelawney. It's going to show us the total number of votes that have been registered for each of the candidates in that constituency. What you're seeing on screen now was from the previous general elections in 2020. So we have the board here that we now need to fill up for 2025. It is blank, it is not shaded any colors, because we are patiently waiting for that data to start coming in from the EOJ. And that's just one part of what we have to do. We also have our consulting data scientist here tonight, Jahail Smith. You're going to hear from him in a short while. But Jahail is allowing us to up the ante in terms of the analysis that we're going to be sharing with the audience. First of all, we're going to be able to really harness the power of the historical election data to be able to identify those key seats. You mentioned them in your introduction, Cliff, but those are those seats that are really keen to watch tonight, and we'll show you the results in those seats as they come in. We'll also be able to zero in on our weather vane seats, Cliff, from our poll. We know what they are, and to remind the rest of the audience who may not be aware, these are Western St. Mary, Southeast St. Elizabeth, Southwest St. Elizabeth, and we've been able to identify these because they vote with the winner every time. That we got from the historical data. So we're going to be using all of that information to really share comprehensive insights and follow the numbers as the boxes are counted and closed.
And Jahail, you're going to be producing for us tonight a predictive model. Tell me about that modeling.
Right, so the history can only get us so far. We must look forward, and to look forward and predict, we have used the latest Blue Dot poll to augment the historical facts in order to come up with predictions and projections for seats. And so we're looking forward to see what can happen tonight as the counts come in.
Thank you, Jahail. And we also have a panel of youngsters, yes? The politics is such now that oldsters like me have to give way to the youngsters, the new value system and dynamics that's emerging in the society. And part of that panel tonight, no stranger to us here at Nationwide, Saeed Bernard. Good evening, Saeed.
Good evening, Cliff. How are you? Hope everyone is well. Well, on this side, we are here and ready. The young people, they call us, as Cliff would say, the oldies handed over to the youngins. Well, let's see. Well, I am Saeed Bernard, and of course to my left is Suel Anglin, a public commentator. And to her left is Joshua Atkins, another young man who is here willing and ready to share his views on what the elections have meant to him, what has he seen, what she has seen as well, coming up to September 3rd, and how they think it will play out. What were the calling factors? What pushed the young people to go out and vote? Cliff, I can tell you, while social media, tweeting and tattling does not count as a vote, we sure have seen a lot more young people coming out, at least from the social media, to say that they have been voting. Well, let's see if it makes a difference on September 3rd, 2025, today, this evening. Right back at you, Cliff.
Thank you. And we should also introduce to you Dr. Damian Blake, Associate Professor at Elon University. He will be joining the panel as well as Ronaldino McLean. Ronaldino McLean, he is an undergraduate student of political science and economics at Vassar College in New York. And on Zoom, we are going to be having well-known author and social and cultural commentator, Mr. Wayne Chen. Wayne, are you there? No? No sign of Wayne yet, but Wayne will be joining us. And of course, Sandra Roden will be alternating with Saeed Bernard. George Davis, you have been talking about your new surroundings, your set, yeah? Tell us about it, and I hear we have something called augmented reality, AR, tonight.
Yes, indeed. So I must, the viewers may be wondering why.
Oh, there it is, augmented reality. Oh, see them there?
The millennials and the thing are gonna laugh at you.
Saeed, you can't see from here. You have to look at the screen up there to see. Yeah, but so this is.
So you need to explain to us what is augmented reality with these two men.
So let me start with the set first. I mean, it's spacious. It's airy. It is the most modern television studio anywhere in the Caribbean. English speaking, francophone, Spanish speaking. Anywhere in the Caribbean you go and walk into a television studio, there is none that can touch this with a barge pole, and you know barge poles are long. We have all the technology here to make us a cut above the rest, and then when you put the talent that we have on top of it, it's almost a guaranteed thing. The augmented reality is a virtual feature. No, Cliff wanted us to be able to talk to Andrew Holness or Mark Golding, depending on how the election goes, but we're not quite there yet, but we're going to get there eventually. But what will happen is that the figures you see, the gentleman standing on the stage later will be the winner. So we'll be able to project that image of Mark Golding or Andrew Holness in the way that we've displayed here as the evening grows old and the picture becomes clear in terms of where most Jamaicans have cast their ballots on this day of our Lord, September 3, 2025.
There are the two main contenders for power tonight, yeah? Mark or Andrew. Also, there's another element to the set, yes?
Yeah.
That I hope our director is ready for us. If we were to say the JLP's candidate in central Manchester,
Rhoda Moy Crawford,
has won.
Yes.
Has retained her seat.
Yes.
What will happen?
Well, what will happen is that Rhoda Moy Crawford, well, we'll
Here
have...
it goes. Yes. You notice what is happening? It's turning green.
The lights.
Yes.
The lights. So if you look at under the Revo TV sign, because I know some of you maybe, there's so many colors, so it's hard to pick up, Cliff. So look at the studio. That's it. The lights all around have turned green, and that indicates that a seat has been called for a JLP candidate. Clearly, if the seat is orange, then the lights will be orange. So we have that added feature to jazz up the production that we're presenting.
There
And look,
it is.
you talk about the power struggle. There's the orange light. You talk about the power struggle, Cliff. I'm going to go one further to say that given that this is our debut show from what will be our home set, it's also an announcement to our rivals, the traditional TV powers, that we're coming for you. We have the talent, we have the technology, and we are coming. Usurp means to seize wrongfully. We won't usurp you because it's nothing that we're seizing wrongfully. We're coming to overthrow. And this is a message this evening. This is a democratic country. I exercise my democratic right today. Let me speak democratically. I'm sending a message that we are here and we're coming for the throne. That's all I'm saying.
Thank you. All right, so we're going to take our first break. It is just about, what time is it?
It's 6:45.
6:45. We should start having some early results in another 15-20 minutes, okay? But let's take the first break. And of course, tell you, we're coming to you on Revo TV, yes? Right here, Revo TV, nationwide, election coverage, race to 32 on Revo TV. And of course, Revo, George, tell us about Revo.
Yeah, revonews.ai, that's the main portal, the website. The Revo app is also available through the popular places, the App Store and the Google Play Store. Revo is revolutionizing how you digest your news content, how you consume content. It is AI doing what you've seen AI in other people's videos doing. We are the first to introduce it. It's one of the kind in this hemisphere. Nobody can touch this, again with a barge pole, and it just makes the news offering so much interactive. Rather than being on a physical website, clicking away, clicking this, clicking that, you can ask Revo to read the news for you in the voice of Cliff Hughes. Soon we'll be adding other of your favorite journalists to read each news story for you. If you want some history, you say, okay, Revo, tell me about Hurricane Charlie in 1950. It can do that. If you say, Revo, tell me about what happened with Louis Galdi in that famous earthquake in Jamaica, it can tell you what happened to Louis Galdi and how he survived, how the sea swallowed him up and spat him out. If you say, okay, how many people died in Hurricane Gilbert? What time did Hurricane Gilbert start affecting Jamaica in 1988, September 12? It can tell you that. It is revolutionizing the way you consume information. It's revolutionizing the way you learn, and it's giving you another tool to guide your youngsters and train them up in the right way, to tell them that being an intellectual is cool.
Okay, we're going to go to our first break. This is the Race to 32.
Discover how sustainable agribusiness, global reach, local impact is transforming our future. At JAIF 2025, the Jamaica Agribusiness Investment Forum, explore financing opportunities, forge powerful partnerships, and connect with global markets ready for Jamaican products. Join us in Montego Bay, September 17 to 19, and plant the seed that will take your agribusiness to the next level. Register today at agribizjamaica.com. Let's grow Jamaica's agricultural future together.
The National Family Planning Board now presents a parenting tip from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Men are what their mothers made them.
PBCJ's Student National is an excellent soundstage with a reputation for producing superior acoustics. Equipped with blue and green screens, it facilitates digital insertion of visual effects and exciting backgrounds in post-production. Studio National is the largest drive-in studio in the English-speaking Caribbean. Yes, you can actually drive a vehicle right onto the studio floor. With over 4,000 square feet of floor space, the studio can easily be transformed. It has hosted a wide variety of live and recorded productions, including Digital Rising Stars, Schools Challenge Quiz, gospel concerts, the TEF Tourism Debate Competition, and election night coverage. During the COVID-19 pandemic, it was a location for Reggae Sumfest and has hosted several reggae concerts, has hosted workshops, launches, town hall meetings, and over the years has been home to several TV dramas, including Oliver at Large and Lime Tree Lane. In addition to the rental of the studio, we can furnish a full crew to shoot and edit your production. So for your next major live or recorded event, or as a location to shoot films, programs, and commercials, PBCJ's Studio National is your best option. For smaller productions, you can book our more compact studio, Studio B. For bookings, call 876-665-7225 or email prod_PBCJ@pbcjamaica.org.
BGLC, the regulatory body. We regulate, you play without worry. We regulate, you play. BGLC, fair play when you play. For the fun of the game, you know we're there. BGLC, keep it fair for the player. You play the game and we are the rules setter. Keep everything fair so the game play better. The Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. We ensure fairness, integrity and responsible gaming practices. Keep the game fair and fun for everyone. We regulate, you play.
Did you know that reading is for everyone? Whether you're a student, a professional, or simply someone looking to expand your horizons, reading is for you. Reading expands knowledge, improves focus and concentration, enhances vocabulary, and serves to unlock your creativity. So make time for reading every day. Let's make reading a habit for a smarter, healthier, and more successful life. For reading is for everyone.
Denise Williams here, inviting you to join us on Financially Focused, the ultimate destination for go-getters who are ready to take the step-by-step actions to master your finances and create a family legacy. Tune in, watch, take note.
Digicel Plus platform and Channel 13. We're also streaming live on the Public Broadcasting Corporation of Jamaica. They're taking our feed. Also, if you're listening to us on More FM in Western Jamaica, all welcome. And from wherever you are in the diaspora, thank you so much for joining. On our YouTube channel, Nationwide 90 FM Live 2. Thank you all for making it right here, Revo TV and Nationwide. Well, the big news so far of the day, the election went fairly well. Yes, and that is relative because we're learning tonight that the system did not perform well at all in terms of the pace at which people were able to vote.
But Cliff, before you take this up with our guests, I must point out, above that, a troubling report we got very late in the day. In fact, on my way here from studio, I had to dispatch a reporter to Kintyre in East Rural St. Andrew. There are reports confirmed by the police of a serious standoff between rival supporters, police involved. Unofficial reports, a policeman was struck by a supporter of I don't know which political party, but in trying to intervene in that physical dispute. And the YouTube chat kept being flooded by messages from people telling me that this was in play. We checked with people who were in the vicinity, members of our team who said they weren't seeing anything. But by the time I came off here, I confirmed with the police that there was a serious situation in there, and I said, well, is it serious enough for me to send somebody? They said, well, that would be in your best interest to so do.
Yes.
So we're waiting on that report from Kintyre in East Rural St. Andrew to see what was the cause, what sparked, well, more than a standoff. Blows were thrown, we understood, and a policeman may have been struck. Either inadvertently or I don't know, you know, people lose their minds, but that's a serious one that we have to pay attention to as the evening progresses.
And Kintyre is significant because it's in East Rural St. Andrew. It's a battleground seat where the incumbent, Juliet Holness, is up against the young attorney at law from the People's National Party, Patrick Peterkin.
Yes.
Yeah, it is a real battleground. The opposition leader was in there.
Yes.
Throughout the day today.
And it's a division
tensions have been high.
And it's a division that was won by the PNP in the local government election.
Yes.
So they are looking to shore up their support there as they try to build enough votes across the constituency, the divisions, to take the seat from Juliet Holness. So that's something that we need a word on. Our producers are checking to see what the real situation is in Kintyre. But yeah, the system, and I'm sure Kevin and Nadine have something to say about the numerous calls I got while I was on here, and I'm sure you got them during your shift, about just how painstakingly slow. One woman told me, Dr. Spence, that she made an arrangement with her mother. She called me from Northwest St. James to say, okay, Mom, you go from 7 o'clock. You do the voting, come back, so I can go vote in Northeast St. Catherine. So she would take the bus, she says. So she was banking on her mother coming back, maybe 10 o'clock worse, so she could make the bus journey. She said her mother came back after 12. The woman was in the line for almost 3 hours waiting to vote at PD 32 in the Rosemount Community Center in Northwest St. James. Just one of a litany of complaints about slow voting.
Yeah, I've been seeing the complaints. People have been in WhatsApp groups talking about standing in line for over 2 hours. Just some people talking about the election day workers seeming to not be able to manage the crush or to give the instructions with enough clarity or to move the process along quickly rather, about the electronic voter identification
Which had to be abandoned in at least one constituency because it was holding up the process.
Yeah, not going as well as people expected it to be. So I think I heard one particular person describe, you know, when we were expressing concern about low voter turnout, saying it wasn't low voter turnout yet, it was slow voting that was perhaps impacting the scale of the voter turnout. So it has been concerning.
Yeah, but looking at the numbers, we reported at 5 o'clock that at 3 o'clock, according to the EOJ, the turnout was only 30%.
Yes.
Right.
At 3 o'clock, and it was 15% at 11 this morning.
Yes.
So it means that unless there's been a surge between 3 and 5 or now, it seems as if we're going to be just above where we were in 2020.
Well, I calculate, Kevin, that it will be above that because 2020 was 37% thereabouts.
37.8.
Yes, they're approximately 38. But the experienced watchers will tell you that between 2 and 5 is when the bulk of the voters come. And then you'd have, in some cases, which is unacceptable, hundreds trapped in the line at the 5 o'clock cutoff who have to be facilitated. And we were having a casual conversation earlier, Kevin, and we were talking about the voters list and the tidying up that needs to be done. But more importantly, what happens at the booth? There must be a way to streamline what happens at the booth because it's counterproductive.
Well, let me give you some figures. In 2020, there were 724,317 votes. So if you look at the EOJ list and the 30.41% of the 2,077,000, at 3 p.m., 631,859. So about 80,000 less, 93,000 less, and 2 hours to go. So it should surpass 2020.
But I think a lot
But you know, I keep telling people they're focusing too much on the registered voters. It's gone up massively, but a lot of those people only want the ID. So they keep talking about lower turnout. If you look at the history of Jamaica, on average of 31% of the population has voted since 1944. And I mean, the population age ups and down, right? We know that. But the only time we've gone above, we touched 40% once. And guess which year that was? 1980.
You mean 80%?
40%
No, he's
of the
calculating
populace.
on the population.
Not on the registered voters.
Right.
Population,
Right.
because of 40% of the population voted in 1980, right? But the average throughout our 8 years is like 31%, and a huge percentage of Jamaicans have never voted. And it's bounces up and down. It was 27% in 2020, but it's been lower. It was 25% in 1967.
But Dr. Spence, to pivot from what Kevin has said,
it's just a cultural thing.
But clearly, to me, we need then to have a different way of calculating what we consider to be voter turnout, because it's painting a wrong picture.
Yes,
in the same way
it is.
that based on what we were taught in school, and I assume all of us were taught the same, even though we're different generations. The use of the simple mean as an average is so misleading in many respects, and I don't want to stray too far from the point, but to highlight the point I'm making. In cricket, for instance, a man would have played, or a woman these days, would have played 100 matches, and you say their average is 53. Which, what it is saying to you is that each time this person goes to the wicket, they are likely to make about 53 runs, which is wrong. The average that you need to use is the mode. What is the score that they've made most frequently? So I'm saying that that difference in how you calculate this thing is necessary, because as Kevin said, and I really agree with that point of view, if you have 2 million plus registered voters, and then at the day you say, oh, voter turnout was 38% and this is the problem. That's not the problem. So you calculate the number of people who are actually on the voters list, who intend to vote, who actually go and exercise their franchise. Right. Not a man or a woman who registers to vote because it's the only form of legitimate identification that they have in their possession.
I'll give you another statistic. In 1989, 45% of the population was registered to vote. In 2020, it was 70%. So this number has gone up significantly. But who says they all want to vote? No, most of them want the ID.
I appreciate that argument as well. That in the
it's the ID they want.
It's, you know, we were having a conversation earlier, and we were saying, you know, with needs, you know, when needs becomes active, with so many people register to vote, if it is that what people want is a national ID, and if it is that voter registration, what we're talking about, what you're essentially saying, George and Kevin, is that voter registration is not an indicator of voter
Absolutely
intent.
not.
It's
No.
not. And what we are seeing more and more is that for a number of Jamaicans, this is not the case.
Yeah.
I also believe, perhaps because I have seen democracy. I remember some years ago I was in Prague, and one of the conversations that we were having in that is how the young people in Prague, present day, had totally turned their backs on the revolution and were not voting and had taken the revolution for granted. I had been in South Africa where that conversation was being had as well, about how as time progresses and as we move away from the point of the critical change to democracy, people had become kind of you know, just not interested in that part of the democratic process, which doesn't mean they're not interested in the democracy. They find voting a problem. So the question is, in this day and age now, what are the ways we imagine voting so that people do not feel as if they have to go stand up at a polling station in a long line for 2-3 hours?
But another part of it, lady and gentlemen.
That's an exaggeration, you know.
How?
A few people, a few places that had to stand up a long time. I can bet 95% of the places it was not long lines. We should not exaggerate the few difficulties.
No, but Kevin,
I had to wait more than 5 minutes
hold
to
on,
vote.
no. Remember, we are front-facing, interfacing with the people who have these frustrations, and I'm telling you.
I'm not saying it's not important.
No, but
don't paint the wrong picture.
Well, don't. I appreciate the clarification, but it is important. But here's another part of it. The fact of the matter is, voting, even for some of us who are experienced campaigners, voting is still an intimidating process. And when you have election day worker inside the polling station who is first time, perhaps nervous, aligned with someone who is not as sharp as many of us, didn't have the ID, wants to be told slowly how to do what to do to make sure that they're getting things right, and the things have to be explained and everything else. This also retards the progress of how the vote. It can't be a disagreement. That's not an opinion, Kevin. It's a fact.
I took my daughter today for the first time to vote. It took her 5 minutes.
That's your daughter, Kevin. I'm saying, what about a 53-year-old man who can barely read? And that's real. When you talk, Kevin, when you talk to people who work inside these offices, we have a presiding officer in our newsroom was a former journalist, a former presiding officer. These are the stories they tell you about people coming to them, and you have to take time and walk with them through the things.
George, all I'm
and
saying
the people
is,
who are the swearing and the attest and the affirmation, it takes time. It's a fact.
All I'm saying is, and I heard Horace Chang on this yesterday, the journalists, we have a wonderful democratic system, and some journalists, some people like to point out the 5% errors in a 95% good system. Yeah. Let us acknowledge the goodness of the system first.
But the system is not...
I went there today to vote, 2 places, me and my daughter. It was wonderful. No free and easy.
But that is counterbalanced by the people who went there and
yes, sir. And I'm saying maybe 5%, about 5%
more than that. It's more than that. It's just by our unscientific side. It's more than that.
The few people are going to complain. The 95% are not going to complain. Don't paint the wrong picture for the public.
Kevin, it's not a wrong picture. It's a real thing.
The 5%, the 5%, yes.
Kevin,
is this how it's going to be tonight?
But Cliff, hold on, Cliff. Let the point be made. Let the point be made. Kevin, you do not have the benefit of the interface that we do directly, cycle after cycle. You don't hear these messages repeatedly. So I can understand why you want to water down the complaint. It is a real thing that the interaction inside the polling stations, especially from those who don't have their IDs. Why do you think the EOJ is at pains? They send a clutch of press releases encouraging people to pick up their ID. Go to the EOJ office and regulate yourself, because they know the difficulty that causes on election day. Those are facts. It's not my opinion, sir.
And why don't people pick up their IDs?
Because they can't be bothered. Why have I not picked up mine since
So when I go there, I'm lazy and I go there and have to wait in line. Whose fault is it?
Picked up my ID.
Exactly.
Yeah, because
and most Jamaicans are like you. Yeah, and hence the long lines. And whose fault is it?
You're agreeing with me.
It's a lazy Jamaican's fault, not the EOJ.
Professor Damian Blake.
If they want pick up the IDs,
Kevin,
whose fault is it, Judge?
Time. Which one should I say? Professor Damian Blake and Wayne Shed are online. We're introducing both those gentlemen to the discussion. Professor Blake, my friend, good evening, sir.
Good evening, George. Good evening, Cliff. Hi, Wayne. And other panelists, Dr. Smith. Good evening. A robust discussion here about voter turnout. I think from what I've been hearing, I think that the problems with the identification, and so if you don't have an ID when you go in, you have to be fingerprinted, you have to do this oath, and all of that. Those things slow down the process. But I think the larger point, though, is that voter turnout rates across the world have been plummeting, right? That's a kind of a global thing.
Yeah.
And, political scientists have been trying to figure out what it is. I think that it's the moment, we're in a moment now where a number of other things are pulling at the kinds of attention of people, particularly younger people. So I don't think that Jamaica is on a boat by itself, that globally there tends to be a decline in voter turnout rates. Interestingly, the higher rates in voter turnout are on the continent of Africa, so places like Rwanda. Australia is kind of an outlier because they have mandatory kinds of voting there. But, I think to put it in context, I think that, it's a global thing. But I think the problems that we're seeing today with people not having their ID and the process, I think whether in some places, I saw comments from some people that there was rain in some places, that is slowing down the kind of people that are turning out.
Wayne?
I think there are multiple factors. Kevin made an excellent point earlier, which he has made before, that as a percentage of the population, that the number has not changed much over the years. There was a dip in 2020, the pandemic election, and there was a spike in 1980. And consistently, polls have shown that the most reliable voters are the older voters.
Not true.
I would say veterans of the 1980 election, and certainly veterans are having lived the experience of the ideological battle between the two major political parties. But among young Jamaicans now, there is a sense of complacency/apathy, that they don't really see any great distinction between the two political parties. So it would have to come down to popular candidates, and you see that in some constituencies where voter turnout is actually quite high, and you can tell that there are local factors involved. And I'm not talking about political garrisons, I'm just talking about hardworking candidates who happen to interface with a lot of people. You also have in Jamaica, I wouldn't say it's so much Rastafari. Let me just put it this way. Religious reasons or religious sentiment as to not deal with Babylon system. We're just not going to vote because it's not something that I'm going to deal with church. I'm going to deal with my own spiritualism or my own religion. So that is one of the factors. But also just inconvenience. Jamaicans tend to move around. Many have their votes in the rural parishes and have moved to St. Catherine or moved to Kingston. And it's not worth the headache to re-register or set up your address somewhere else. So as I say, it's just a combination of factors. A lot of it, as I say, is just apathy, lassitude, complacency, a feeling that my individual vote is not going to change anything. So as I say, it's a combination of factors. And apart from 1980 and 2020, the pattern has been pretty steady. The fact that we have 2 million registered voters now is more, as has been said earlier, a testament that the vast majority of these, since they are registered and they don't vote, I'd be surprised if the vote count today goes much over 900,000, which suggests that half the people who have registered didn't bother to vote. But we also know that there are many places in Jamaica where you can't do a transaction without a government-issued photo ID. The vast majority of Jamaicans don't have a passport or don't have a driver's license. So this is the only government-issued ID that they do have. So 2 million registering to vote is not 2 million intending to vote. My expectation today is just under 50% of that number, and perhaps as low as 40% of that number will actually cast their ballots.
Can I make a point here? There's a myth going around, repeated by everybody, about young people not voting. It is a myth. I got the EOJ statistics from 2016 and 2020. In 5 categories of voters: 18 to 29, 20 to 39, 40 to 49, 50 to 59, 60 plus. The biggest chunk of that is 18 to 29, 22.2% of the total. So this myth that young people don't vote is not supported by the data. Right? And this is EOJ statistics, and people keep repeating it. Young people...
No, the real question is not whether it comprises 22% of the total, you know. What percentage of that demographic actually voted?
They've about 80%. If you compare it, older folks vote slightly more. Maybe 20% more and 20% less. But there's not a huge gap. So the myth that young people don't vote is a myth. It is not supported by the data.
No, we didn't say young people don't vote, you know. We said that the most reliable pool of voters, and that is both.
Yeah, but the biggest chunk is the young voters.
And the data.
The biggest chunk is the young voters.
All right.
And I'm saying is...
Could we call out to this now? Because do we have early results, Janae? Do we
yes,
have...
we do. The map is lighting up.
The map is lighting up, and this is what we must focus on for the next hour, hour and a half, okay? What are the early results? We have Janae.
All right, so if we're looking at my map here, we're seeing some colors filling in on the screen here. To the viewers, where you see the color, that indicates the party that is ahead at this time. Now, this is very, very early days. So starting in the west, we have numbers coming in from Westmoreland Eastern, just a few boxes counted, and really only 6 votes separating Dayton Campbell from the JLP's candidate Daniel Lawrence in that constituency. So we're very, very, very early on. But
do we know how many boxes those are from?
What numbers?
Or what percentage of the vote?
Like how many votes?
That's not being registered just yet, but we can have an update for you the next time we
how many
go
votes
to
is
the
it
map.
for each?
Right, so in that seat there, 259 votes so far for Dayton Campbell, 253 so far for JLP's Lawrence. So early numbers coming in from that constituency there. In St. Anne Southeast, we're also getting some numbers there very, very early. This is just one box. So we're seeing 44 votes for the PNP candidate Russell and only 9 votes for the JLP candidate there, Peart. All right, if we go a little bit further east, all the way east to St. Thomas Eastern, we're also seeing some early numbers coming out. The PNP candidate is ahead right now with 201 to Dr. Michelle Charles 166, but again, very early numbers. These numbers are quite low. It suggests only a few boxes have been opened, but the map is starting to light up, and as we get more data coming in, we'll give further updates.
All right. So we're going to go now to the young people team, the panel of the young Jamaicans, on their perspective on how the day went and this debate we've been talking about voter turnout. Let me hear it from the youngsters.
Yes, Cliff. You know, very interestingly, you see, you're over here laughing, and you're going to find out why soon. But
laughing at us?
Oh, absolutely not. Well, you were talking about myth, but I was wondering, like, why not just come to the young people and ask? Yeah, like, why not? So, Swell, first, let me start with you. This idea that young people are